Here are your March 2026 pre-order picks presented by Burg Comics, and apologies in advance for all of the creator names I butcher. Megalith, the Olympic Saga, issue 1 from Bad Idea. This was written by Matt Kent, art by Louis LaRosa. 20 minutes ago, a massive monolith crashed into the heart of Baltimore, obliterating 16 square blocks. No one knows where it came from or why. Somehow the monstrous deep space object evaded the global surveillance net. 3 elite breach teams were dispatched to penetrate its outer shell and disable it. Now our only hope is Officer Jack Casey, a beat cop scarred by the past, who along with what remains of the breach teams must scale the robot from the inside. If they can reach the head, they can destroy it, but time is running out. The government has scrambled a nuclear response, and the world has just learned that a second bigger monolith is about to impact Earth. Now, this unfortunately is a pass for me. I love Matt Kent's work, but if you are specking on this title, then you really should have picked up the Kickstarter. Next up, we have Warbird, issue 0, also from Bad Idea. Creators on this title. It was written by Derek Kolstad and Robert Venditti, art by Jesse Lonergan. Cole is a repo man of the highest caliber, repossessing heavily guarded mega yachts from billionaires, private planes from captains of industry, and everything in between. If it's got an engine, he can drive it, ride it, or fly it straight from under the nose of an army of guards. But now he's handed the job of a lifetime, the impossible job, one that will bring him face to face with the highest stakes. The Russians have stolen aeronautical military secrets from China, France, Germany, the UK, and the United States to Frankenstein together the ultimate bleeding-edge next-gen fighter jet, the Warbird. There are only 3 of them in existence. They are a force of absolute nature, 1.4 billion apiece, dominating every global hotspot from Syria to the Ukraine. And Cole's been hired to steal one and destroy the other 2. Definite pick for me. I 100% get Clint Eastwood Firefox vibes from this title. The real question is, in the long run, would it be cheaper for the Movio Studios to option Warbird or just try to reboot Firefox? If you're in the option camp, then this should be an easy pickup with a cover price of only $1.99. Absolute Green Arrow number 1 from DC, written by Pornsag Pishachout. Art and cover by Raphael Albuquerque. A serial killer is slaughtering corrupt billionaires. The only clue to his identity is the mysterious green arrow sticking out of his victims' corpses. Executive Protection Specialist Dinah Lance, aka Absolute Black Canary, is one of the people tasked to uncover this murderer's identity as she investigates her suspects. All familiar DC archers likely linked to recently murdered Oliver Queen. I Know What You Did Last Summer for Billionaires. Absolute Green Arrow reimagines the Emerald Archer's mythos into a dangerous urban horror murder mystery. Now, this book is a pause for me. The DC Absolute Universe is super hot right now, and books like this have an interesting take on the Green Arrow story. I do question if the Absolute Universe can sustain another title, but the synopsis has me super interested. If Destruction Be Our Lot, issue 1 from Image Comics. This is written by Matthew Rosenberg and Mark Elijah Rosenberg, art by Andy McDonald and Francesco Segala. Humanity is extinct, and all that remains are the robots who once helped us. Despite the computer viruses, electricity addiction, and rampant cannibalism, the robots are happier now, doing their jobs in peace. But not an animatronic Abraham Lincoln, he just wants a friend. I'm calling pick on the robots. With all the interest that we have right now in artificial intelligence, this is something that could easily see life outside of the printed page. Odin, issue 1 of 9 from Image Comics. Story by James Tynion IV and Marguerite Bennett. Art by Letizia Candonici and Jordi Belair. Adela will do anything for the perfect story, including going undercover with neo-Nazi punks headed to the frozen forests of Norway under the misbegotten belief that they can summon Odin and achieve their promised white destiny. But what awaits them in the woods is far older and stranger than any of them can comprehend, and no gods are coming to answer their prayers for help. Definitely a pick. James Tynion IV has multiple projects that have been optioned recently, and if any of them turn into hits, his other books will become likely next targets. Dog Tag, issue number 1 from Mad Cave. This is written by Mark Russell, art by P.J. Holden. Dog Tag is a fictional story about a very real war. It follows the life and thoughts of Corporal Tom Fuller through the final year of World War II, as his service takes him from the invasion of Normandy to the surrender of Japan. Borrowed from real-world stories and little-known events of the war, Dog Tag asks big questions about the war while focusing on the heroism of the ordinary people who lived and died during the conflict. Now, fans of war comics will certainly want to grab this book with Mark Russell on the writing duties, but there are so many true war stories out there that studios will likely not see the need to option this particular book. Kill Switch, issue number 1 from Amp Comics. Story by Sophia Banks and Don Hanfield, artist Gabrielle Ibarra. In 2067, Los Angeles consciousness is currency. When corporate thief Atlas jumps off a skyscraper to escape authorities, he doesn't die. He wakes up in the body of Kate Sloan, a comatose cop. In a world where Neuralink chips allow the dead to hijack the living, Atlas works with his handler Smitty to steal crypto codes from the corporate Elysium executives. But when he's ready to jump to his next body, he discovers Sloan has a daughter, and she knows he's not her mother. The explosive new sci-fi thriller where nobody is who they seem. Now, this is a pick for me, but I'm going to confess that I'm a bit of a sucker for sci-fi comics. And since the title shares the name of an episode of The X-Files that was written by William Gibson, it is pretty hard for me to say no to this book. Destination Kill, issue 1 of 4 from Oni Press. This is written and drawn by Joe Palmer. The year is 2125, and the all-powerful corporation Overcon uses its robot workers to pour our drinks and dispense our meds, all while rebuilding London's central city into a hyper-modern megalopolis bolted together in its own image. But as Overcon prepares to celebrate the first year of its Paradise Loop, a super-fast transatlantic train that connects the central city to New York in just 60 minutes, an unwieldy army of displaced human workers floods the streets with weapons, plotting an attack at the anniversary gala. Enter Gina Serene, a stressed-out, pill-popping police detective in desperate need of a vacation, and her ex-partner turned PI Lance Wingman, who are now the only thing standing between Overcon's skyscraper-sized fish and the worker uprising that threatens to bring Britain's capital crashing down around them. So this is going to be a pick for me. What is most interesting is that the title has the potential world building that can occur that's associated with the story. We only get the basics of the story here in the first issue and the solicit for that issue, but there is definitely a lot that can be built upon for some future stories. The Future Is, issue 13 from Rekcah Comics. This series is written by Fred Van Lente, and this issue has art by Enio Buffy. Black Mountain confronts an enemy they can't merely fight. This time, they'll need to infiltrate a deadly cult and put their souls on the line to survive. Get ready to put your perception of reality to the ultimate test. Now, this is actually a personal mention for the month. The Future is the first book I read when my shipment arrives every month. So in addition to the great Fred Van Lente story, each issue includes an online capture the flag that gives you challenges that make you feel a little bit like a hacker. Excommunicated, issue number 1 from Vault Comics. This book is written by Jeremy Robinson, art by Tiago Palma. Excommunicated, pray she doesn't fail. When a faithful nun and a festering demon are each excommunicated from the church and from hell because of a botched exorcism, they must work together to uncover a sinister plot that endangers their lives and the world. So this one's a pick. This comic feels like a darker Good Omens, and there have been a lot of religion-adjacent shows like Evil that have seen some recent success. I do hope they can be careful about staying respectful to the nun's moral values. I think that will provide a more realistic, quote-unquote realistic take on this type of story. So there you have my picks, passes, and pauses for March 2026. So be sure and get your orders in with your local comic book shop ASAP. Let me know in the comments what comics you think I missed this month. If you enjoyed listening to me talk about comics, be sure to check out my podcast, Campus Comics Cast, co-hosted by Mike Atchison of Mike's Comic Shop Roadshow. The Campus Comics Cast is available on your favorite podcast app and on YouTube. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening.